Adam, how's it going?
Good. How are you, mate?
Doing well, doing very well. So where in the world are you now?
I am on Maui, Hawaii, right now.
Okay,
In the tropics.
very nice. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
And, and how has your day been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Actually, a friend's car broke down, so just helping with that right now. So some fun situations today.
Okay, all right. How would you give yourself a grade in terms of your mechanic skills?
I'd probably say about an 8 out of 10. I've
Eight
got
out of ten.
I've got quite a lot of mechanics background.
Really? Okay. All right. So
Um,
let's come back to that. Let's hold that. I'll
okay.
make a note here. So going kind of all the way back, um, where in the world are you from?
I'm from a little town, or should I say, a little bit, uh, semi big town. Um, Town called Exeter, England.
Exeter.
Um, and yeah, so I was born there.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's southwest of England.
Okay. So Exeter. So we have a very prestigious prep school here in the States called Exeter as well.
Oh,
Not sure if you knew that, but it's
huh.
up in the state of New Hampshire. Is there a
No, I haven't
Hampshire?
heard of that.
Is there a
Oh,
Hampshire in England as well? There must be.
yeah, yep.
Okay. So yeah, no, Exeter is in the state of New Hampshire, which is incidentally also where I attended university. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. So always an interconnected little world we live in.
Yeah, it's funny.
So okay, so again, we want to put a pin in the mechanic skills, but from your social recently, I noticed that you're also doing a bit of learning to fly.
Well, yeah, my mentor, right? So he kind of took me uh, in terms of like work and just um, advice for a lot of things. You know, it's always nice having an older guy help you. He's about 78, works like a horse. He'll never stop working till you know. He basically taught me everything in terms of building a house, doing mechanics. You know, what to and what not to do in general life, effectively, like a father role model.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I think I don't know if we could ever have enough of those kinds of figures in our lives.
yeah, 100%. I completely agree.
So with respect to the flying specifically, how long has that been going on?
Well, he has his own plane,
Okay.
so the plane has two consoles. So he basically lets me fly the plane and teaches me everything about the plane. Um, and you know, he's like, it's just fun for him. He's just like, it's just another day for him. He's like, okay, let's go flying before we go to work. So we'd go fly, come back, go to work, and then go mountain biking or just anything, you know, surfing, whatever.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, that's pretty damn cool, to be honest.
No, he's a
Uh,
cool guy. He's really cool.
no, he sounds like a very cool guy. Okay, so um, being from Exeter, just what was that like growing up there? Like, kind of walk me through a little bit of just like the Exeter childhood, if you will.
Okay, so I was born in Exeter, and it was a little town called the Mint House. It's like an old stone house, like built very long ago. I was born there, and then I'm getting into a bit of a story here of my childhood,
Please, please.
right? And it's definitely cutting a long story short. But I was born in Exeter, and then when I was about, let's say, 4 or 5, we moved to Bali in Indonesia, and so we moved to a place called Canggu,
Yep.
and it was me, my three older brothers, and my mum and dad. So we moved over there, built a bit of a life. We owned a school, we owned a house and a furniture company, and so about 5 years, no, let's say 3 years, we were living there, and all throughout that time, kind of things were falling apart with between my parents' marriage, and so it's kind of falling apart. And then my dad at the time, he had a great idea to take us from our mum without her knowing. I think she was picking out clothes in the store for us at night sometime, and he got us as much as he could in about an hour, and got us in a car, put us in a plane, flew us over to Saudi Arabia. So in Saudi Arabia, which is where he's originally from, he thought it would be a good idea for us to start anew without our mum knowing, basically. So he abducted us over there, and then he tried to get us to start a new life. And while we were there, we absolutely hated it. You know, it was away from, you know, our mum. She didn't even know where we were at all. And so we were over there 3 years, and all throughout that time, us boys were just hating it. We didn't speak the language. We couldn't make any friends. You know, the life over there is quite how do you say it? It's quite bleak. You're very inside most of the time. It's just very hot outside. It's just desert, you know. And so we were living there, and then all throughout that time, my mum tried to find out where we were. So in those 3 years, she had absolutely no idea where we were. She didn't even know which country we were in. So within that time, she was doing all of her best to try.
The audio just cut out real quick. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think
Perfect.
it's back. Okay, perfect. So where was I? I can't remember.
So your mom was looking for you guys.
Oh, I think that works. Okay, perfect. It was just connecting to my car. So yeah, she basically contacted the king of Saudi Arabia at the time, sending messages, letters, whatever she could at the time. I think he must have got, I think there was a number, I think it was 53 letters from my mum to the king. And eventually he wrote back to her with like, what's all these letters all about? I can't go through them. There's too many, all this kind of stuff. So they had a meeting. My mum managed to get a special visa, one of a kind, and to track down us. Couldn't make any trouble in the country, or else she's out. And so a woman with, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, from Denmark, trying to track her kids in a foreign country, is just incredible to me. It's mind-boggling how determined she was. You know, even to me, I can't even fathom how determined she was. So she went over, eventually found where we were, and set up a court date. And everything happened. Everything went along in the court. Everyone, how do I say this? The easiest way to say it is my mum was sat in the court, all gowned up, with the lawyer next to her, and my dad just comes walking in, sits right next to the lawyer, and she to this day she says, I don't know how I didn't just jump over and like kill him just for taking my kids, you know. She's still like mind boggled on that. But
of course, I mean, anybody can only imagine the emotions that are happening at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. So the court went on, and it was all in Arabic, and my mum can't speak Arabic. So it was going on, and she just starts crying, just bawling her eyes out. And the judge is like, what's happening? What's going on in what, like, she's crying, bawling her eyes out. This is supposed to be a court case for her. So what's going on? So she she asked the lawyer, like, what's going on with her, and she just turns and goes, I can't speak Arabic. Like, this is a court case for my children. I need to, speak up, but I can't. And so the judge just goes, okay, we're gonna turn all this court into English. Like, we're gonna stop it. Just everyone can speak English. Okay, cool. My dad raises his hand and goes, okay, I can't speak English. And obviously that's a big lie. And my mom starts laughing, and she just goes, well, judge, he's got a PhD in English language. And so obviously then found out that he was lying. And then that's pretty much how the court case went, and how she won the court case and us back. And so that was a little story on how my childhood kind of went and how we got to my mum. We moved back to England into a little town called Sidmouth, not very far away from Exeter. And then I started surfing there, basically.
Wow. Okay. I mean, first of all, thank you for sharing such a personal story.
Well, it is personal, but at the same time, my mum actually wrote an autobiography about all of it.
Okay.
It's called Reunited in the Desert. And so it's kind of like a story it's close to my heart, of course, but at the same time, it's out in the world,
Of course. I mean, look, you like you just said, you only kind of read about these sorts of things. A little bit about my history. I attended 1 year of law school, and when you read through these cases, it's a little bit like kind of in a sense going to the movies, because you read about these things that happen to people's lives in real time, in whatever era they're living in, of course, and blah blah blah. And you just kind of take a step back and you're like, wow, the world can be a great place, and at the same time the world can be a fucked up one as well. And
brutal.
Right? Yeah, there's no other way to describe it. So I mean, look, my heart goes out to you, and I'm very, very happy to hear that your mom made that journey happen, and was able to successfully get her kids back.
Thank you.
So you started surfing back in England, like did you kind of skip the soccer rugby kind of thing and just go right into surfing, or how did that work?
No, I actually did a lot of different things. I was doing basketball, swimming, rugby, cricket, quite a few sports. Nothing really stuck. Like, I was kind of doing all of them, but just like this and that. And then I went on I was driving mom crazy with all this energy I had and just bouncing around all these sports. And she was like, you need to find something that you're passionate about. So she sent me to like a PGL, it's called, like a kids camp, where you stay for like a week and all this. And that's when someone introduced me to surfing, took me out and all that. And then I came home and I was like, I want to go surfing every day if I can. So, I got the wetsuit board, and ever since then I was just hooked.
And so how old were you then?
I was 13. Yeah,
13. What was your first wetsuit?
My first wetsuit was, I think it was a hand-me-down from my brother.
Okay.
And it was just like this old 2 mil, like I can't even remember the brand. It was just
2 mil in the UK.
Yeah.
All right. So that doesn't we didn't sound thick enough, to be honest with you. But so your brothers were also guys that took you under their wing, in a sense, in the water.
Yeah, a little bit. I've got the two oldest, they're twins. So they were kind of surfing a little bit on and off, and they were just kind of like, whatever you want to get into, we'll support you, like, and help you out, whatever you need. There's still always, between brothers, there's always still fighting and everything, but they always had good intentions, and they have hearts of gold. Like, whatever I'm into, they always help me,
Oh, no, that's phenomenal. That's how it absolutely should be.
Yeah.
So the two oldest are twins, and then you.
The two oldest are twins, and then there's one between me and them.
Got it. So you're the youngest.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah, no, I can imagine. I mean, four brothers growing up, there's gonna inevitably be at least one scrap, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
So just staying on the sports subject for a moment, only because I'm curious about this every single time I meet somebody who's frankly not from the US. Who is your soccer club then?
Oh, my soccer club. I'm gonna have to say Exeter City just because I'm from
Perfect. Good.
there.
No. It's always been a curiosity of mine because it's I love sports and here soccer has always been a huge thing, but American football, as you know, is like kind of like
Massive.
yeah, it's massive. It's our version of I guess like gladiators in Rome or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so we can't get enough of it. So it's always something that I'm interested in asking folks about. So like you're getting into surfing, you got this 2 mil wetsuit, and like I have to imagine that you kind of at some point hit a juncture where you're like, all right, look, like I love this, I'm pretty good at it, and then you started to what say, I'm going to start chasing big waves.
No, I actually went. I was working all summer, and I was like, okay, I need to make as much money as I can. So I took any job I could. I think I was dishwashing in a restaurant every day to make enough money. I went on my first surf trip, and it was Sri Lanka. I went with my mum and my mom's boyfriend, and my mom's boyfriend was into surfing as well. So he took me on a lot. And when we went to Sri Lanka, that's when I went, oh, I really want to push my surfing. And I started surfing some waves around there, which I was really pushing myself as much as I could. And then I just like every day it was getting bigger and the swell was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I was just like, I want to be out there. I want to ride waves. So I just started like pushing myself, and then I was like, from then on, I was like, I want to push it as far as I possibly can, as big as I possibly can.
I hear you. No, that's exciting. So you were at that point on the Sri Lanka trip, but you're still kind of, I guess you're at that point still living in the UK,
Yeah.
and you then made a decision to get up and move to the Hawaiian Islands, right?
No, after that, I think I went on a few other trips. I went to France, kind of backpacking, like just like sleeping on the beach, whatever. I didn't have much money, so I flew over, and yeah, I was sleeping on the beach in Biarritz and Hossega and all that kind of stuff to like be there. I'd leave my stuff on the beach and go surf and just keep an eye on my stuff type of deal. And then I went to Indonesia with a friend. That's when I was working a lot. And yeah, I went to when I was about 18. Went to Indonesia with him. I think I spent about like 6 months over there, and I come back, and then that's when I made the decision to go to the Hawaiian Islands. I went there for 3 months, and then Mexico 3 months, and then right after that, I got enough money to get the ticket back to Maui, and then I moved straight away.
Wow. Okay, so when you moved to Maui, how old were you?
I was 19.
Okay. And at that point in time, you're basically this sort of global traveler. I mean, there's no passport stamp that you probably don't have just from the connections of the airlines alone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So at that point, you're 19 years old in Maui, and I've been waiting for this question here, Adam. Is this where you develop your 8 out of 10 mechanic skills or not?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
my mentor took me under his wing, and I had a car that I couldn't afford very much, so I kind of like did what I could to pay for the car, and then all sorts of things were just going on. And my mentor was just like, oh, you know, you want to do, your car's breaking down, or this is failing, go and fix it. He said, there's a shed over there with a bunch of tools. If you need anything, come in and ask me about it. So I would just go in there, try and fix it, and then, come crawling back. Oh, I broke this. Like, can you help me? And then just pretty much from then on, I was just fixing my own car. And then from fixing my own car, other people would ask me like, oh, can you do my brakes or my oil or my this or that? Or my transmission's going out. Or can you help me this? So it started like that, and then I was working as much as I could to like, help out with other people and work a little bit doing that. But then the big thing working was building houses and remodeling with my mentor as well.
Very cool. Which one do you prefer more, working on a car or working on a house?
Working on a house. I
Okay.
I as you can tell, my hands are quite dirty and they just stay like that in mechanics, and just chemicals all over your body, as you know.
Sure. No, no, no. I mean, my first job actually was working construction for a summer. Shout out Dewhurst Construction.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't say that I did a whole lot in the way of real technical activity. They gave me a shovel most of the time and a broom at the end of the day. But I'm proud to report that I did actually dig a pool. That was
Oh, cool.
that was my big accomplishment that summer.
That's
Yeah,
hard work.
it was actually pretty hard work. Yeah, the most dodgy thing, if you will, in digging said pool was I needed to first find a manhole that was like deep under the dirt. I like it was kind of one of these things where you're like, shouldn't a manhole be like on the street or something, But nonetheless, digging, like I'm digging this, massive hole, and lo and behold, there's the manhole, and I'm like, okay, and we had to pry this thing open, and it was so bizarre. I was like trying to figure out how this all actually worked from a civic kind of municipality plumbing standpoint, and we wedged open this manhole, and wouldn't you know it, there's like a bit of sewage down there, and then things start slipping inside, and I was the guy on the construction site that needed to fetch things from the manhole that day. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, no, I mean, I think we all can appreciate the fact that construction is one of those things where you learn a lot very quickly, and it's a great human experience, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you definitely learn from failures, right? A lot of things go wrong.
Yeah, well, I think that I learn from failures almost every week. So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, but no, yes. So segueing here, you and Frosty Niemann are both very accomplished mechanics, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Frosty working on aviation, I guess vis-a-vis the U.S. military, and you've got your background, whether it be in homes or automobiles or whatever. So walk it back for me and just describe like how you and Frosty first met each other.
We first met each other. It was actually we met each other just messaging it online, I think, because I saw him on this one. I saw him on this one big day here on Maui, and I was like, I recognize that guy. I don't know where. It turns out I didn't, but I messaged him anyway. And I went on a trip to go surf Pipeline, and I messaged him saying, "Hey, like, I'm heading over. Maybe we can meet up and do something." So he wanted to come and join the project because I flew over there with a filmer, and so he wanted to do it as well. He wanted to film as well. So it was two filmers, and I was surfing on. I hadn't surfed pipe before, so that was quite an experience. And then it went super well. I got one of the best waves of my life, and yeah, it turned out really good. And then ever since then, whenever I go to Oahu, I just stay with him, and then we just film or hang out or do whatever.
That's great. I mean, that's kind of how it happens, I guess. So, I mean, congratulations to you. I mean, everybody I think understands that Pipeline is one of the fastest waves on earth, one of the most dangerous places to surf, I think, period. Goes without saying that you kind of have to have your sea legs to be able to do such a thing. So, I mean, that was your first time surfing pipe. Do you remember the board you were on?
Yeah, I think it was 7.0 or something like that.
Okay.
Though that's usually like the biggest kind of board you ride for like first and second reef, because there's 3 reefs that make up Pipeline, first, second, and third. And then when it gets way even bigger, you sit out at third reef with like much bigger boards.
Sure. So Frosty was always the guy, like, I guess when he first shot you that day, he was in the water with the housing?
No, he was on land. So we were doing. We had long lens, and then he had the short lens following me, kind of real close to get that kind of angle.
Mm,
And then another guy called Will. He was with a long lens.
very cool. Very cool. So you and Frosty kind of have developed this connection. And when did you both start to kind of germinate this idea of this trip you're going on to Ireland?
So I would go over and do trips over there, and then we started talking. Like, I really get along with Frost, and he has like some big aspirations to make it filming, and
Yep.
especially surfing, because it's one of those things you don't really get paid that well for, but you're mainly getting the, how do you say it, like the richness in experiences. So we were both like that. We were like, we don't really care about being the richest guy in the world, like we're surfers, or but we want to travel the world and basically get the best waves of our life, or get the best shots of our life. So and it's super, it's a lot of help working with different companies and businesses, and guys along the way that want to help. That's super cool. Like, for example, I've got some companies in Ireland and the US, and guys just want to help with boards, and it's so useful in that regards.
Yeah, no, that's, I hate the expression, that's what it takes to sort of, keep the dream alive, but it takes that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
1000%. Yeah. And you're always in a sense kind of hustling for that next, opportunity. I mean, look, whether you're a professional surfer, a professional tennis player, whatever, that's what it requires to sort of continue to sort of like do it,
Yeah,
do it at the right level. So,
yeah.
so let's talk specifically now about Ireland. So I'm half Irish, half Italian.
Oh
So
wow.
depending on the company and the weather, I kind of lean one way or the next. But I've never been to Ireland. I've heard it's wonderful. The people are obviously very, very nice. At least everyone that I've met here has been great who hails from there. But
Yeah.
what walk us through the itinerary and just kind of describe, I guess, in a sense, what a successful trip there looks like.
So this trip actually consists of me flying to England first, and then I'm gonna buy a big van, and then basically do it up on the inside, like living wise. Drive down to France, and then Portugal, Morocco, and surf all the way along there. And then I think it's January 15th, Frosty arrives in Ireland. So I leave the van and I fly to Ireland and I meet Frosty over there. And then that's when we start filming for this vlog that we're starting to do. So we got our first kind of vlog video ready to kind of post effectively, or at least close to being posting. And so that's kind of the intro to all of that. And then I'm going to do, with someone else, I'm going to do the next video going down Europe, and then the next one is flying up to Frosty, and then all of Ireland.
And perhaps I missed this, and I apologize if I did. The van, where is the van going to live while you're in Ireland? Are you going to keep it somewhere hidden in Hossiger or Biarritz, like on the beach, like your old?
I've kind of got friends all over Europe
Okay.
that I can easily leave, or if they want to use it or whatever, and while I'm away, that's fine.
Very cool.
But pretty much all the way down, I have friends that they're like big wave surfers that want to go charge. They got skis, they got good setup. So
Right.
I'm gonna hit all of them along the way down and just go charge with them pretty much.
No, that's fantastic. I'm really, really excited for you guys.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
So, all right. So, like, next kind of shifting here. So, as you prepare for this trip, and when do you guys leave again?
I leave to England in 6 days, and then he leaves to Ireland on the 15th of January.
Okay. taking some notes.
Yeah.
And that's great. And so I guess you're going to be spending your holidays over in the UK for what, like the first time in a while?
Yeah, first time in 7 years.
Wow. And
Yeah, so
so your mom is there.
yeah, my mum and my brothers live in England. Yeah.
And so what are the holiday plans? Anything kind of unique or?
Honestly, for me, I don't want to spend too long in England. I just want to get the van and get it done within like 3 to 5 days, and then start my journey straight away.
Great. Well,
So I probably don't have much of in regards to plans of holidays. I just basically want to go. I want to start my journey straight away to go surfing.
great. Wonderful. Well, look, I really honestly could not be happier for you and for Frosty because, I'm a native of San Diego, and when I met Frosty, just as we all kind of do these days in the ether, and it hearing his story about just how dedicated he has been to kind of just continually leveling up his game in a sense, right?
Yeah,
And I think that anybody who's spent any time around the industry, so to speak, understands that to be able to even think about approaching a paddling situation with some heavy waves, it requires a fair amount of expertise, to say the least.
yeah, 100%.
So, look, I mean, I would obviously, of course, love to, help you guys out in whatever capacity that CKTH can, even if it's just from a promotional capacity.
Yeah,
But please count us in terms of being a huge fan of stories like yours and stories like Frosty's as well.
yeah, I really appreciate that, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a wild time. I think it's gonna be a lot going on, and yeah, I really appreciate it. That means a lot.
No, look, I mean, and please, Adam, don't be bashful if you're on this remarkable journey, starting in Europe, then to Morocco, and then hitting Ireland and Frosty. If there's any juncture where you guys are, saying, hey, look, we just kind of like sort of experienced something remarkable or have a great yarn to tell, count me in terms of wanting to hear about it.
Yeah. Oh, 100. Yeah, you'll be the first guy to hear about it.
No, I would love that because that's typically where all the best stories take place.
Yeah.
Well, look, with 6 days to go, I reckon you got a lot of planning and packing to do. But I very much appreciate you taking the time. And I don't know, is there anything else that you want to do in terms of shout outs or just letting folks know what you're thankful for?
I want to shout out some people who have helped me a lot along the way.
Yeah, please.
Which is Wild Atlantic in Ireland, Blue Soup in England, Jerry O'Keefe in the US, and RS Pro also in Europe. So yeah, those guys helped a lot in regards of surfing and journey along the way. So yeah, super cool.
No, look, it's been a real pleasure, and like I said, I would very much look forward to chatting with you soon. Even if it's in 7 to 8 days, and you're like, "Hey, John, we gotta fire the pod back up just to sort of like check in about this one thing that just happened."
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
No, Adam, you sound like a person who is not only a lot of fun to hang with, but you sound like somebody who kind of knows how to roll with it. Go with the flow, which I think is what life is all about.
I guess a lot of things go wrong for me, so I guess I learned to go along with it.
There's always the tomorrow. So I mean, I've always been a big advocate of knowing that on to the next one is really the only thing that matters.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's really good to hear from you, John, and thank you for doing all this.
No, likewise, man. And let's catch it up again soon.
Yeah, 100%.
All right,
All
man.
right, good to speak to you.
Likewise.
All right, see ya.
Dude, bye.